Well, welcome. I'm Reverend Valerie Love, also known as KAISI, Divine Midwife of Soul Destiny, Christian witch, and the author now of 16 books on practical spirituality. How you loving, boo? How you loving? Welcome to Valerie Love TV. I am so thankful. So I'm doing this series of speaking to spirit beings because I shared in a video that I had lately that I don't know how I came upon this ability to hear from beings in multiple dimensions. I didn't talk about it a lot because it was a while that I was afraid of it. I also didn't want to seem like I was bragging. I also didn't want to seem like I was doing something so easy that people struggle to do. It's very easy for me. I didn't want to seem better than people. I'm just sharing with you some of my insecurities and hidden fears so that I can be transparent and just share this information with you and share my experience. Now, it's not my desire to do anything other than share my experience to inspire and to uplift you. And you, on your own journey, you will have to take from this what works for you. Like any meal, eat the meat, spit out the bones. That's all I can say. So this is how I met the Archangel, the Ascended Master, Arcturus. So Arcturus, is an Ascended Master from another dimension. We'll say another dimension of consciousness. And I'll share with you the circumstances upon which he came. So I was in this intense morning prayer, spiritual practice every morning at 4 a.m. So I just want to set the bar here and set the tone that this Ascended Master didn't just appear out of anywhere. Just say, hey, how you doing? What you doing down there on planet Earth? It didn't work like that. I was going in. And when I say going in, I mean I was in this prayer, meditative. I would do prayer and meditation every morning. Plus, there were several prayers that I was saying. It was a 2.5 hour process every single morning as I was being prepared for ministerial consecration and ordination as a minister of spiritual consciousness. So it was intense. I mean, intense spiritual practice where you be feeling like you shaking, right? And one morning, I was in a meditation. I had been praying, and I was sitting in my dark room, and I had my spiritual space all set up, and I had the Course in Miracles there, and candles there, and that, your whole spiritual space. It was charged. It was so charged up, and I was sitting there, and I was just being in this up. Spirit realms. I wasn't in the astral plane. I was not. I think I was beyond the astral plane. I really don't know where I was. And here it came. He began walking to me. In the third eye, I could see him in the third eye. Not my physical eyes looking around the room and I see a strange man walk in. It did not happen that way. Even though I know some people do have channeled experiences, like, where the person sitting next to them like a person. That's not how I experienced him. Arcturus was walking toward me and he had a scroll. And he had long robes on, sort of like robes that looked like Gandalf the Gray, not Gandalf the White, Gandalf the Gray. It was a grayish, and he was silvery, and he had this white beard, and he had something on his head, like his head was not bare. Arcturus. So he's walking to me with a scroll, and I'm looking at him walking. He just steps. He reminded me, the energy reminded me of the Hermit tarot card. Look in the Rider-Waite deck, Hermit. It reminded me just of that. Even though I believe that Hermit has a hood, but it reminded me of that. He walks to me, and I'm looking at him, and I can see that he is not an angel, not a soul, not a enlightened ancestor, not a spirit guide. He didn't have the spirit guide energy. Don't ask me how I know all this. All this came to me. All this came to me as a gift of the divine. I can't really even explain it to you. I apologize. I hope I'm being clear. And he had the scroll in his hand. And literally he said to me, write, for these words are faithful and true. The same exact thing the angel said to John when John was on the Isle of Patmos in the Bible about to write the revelation. Now I'm sitting there in the dark. It was like, I don't know, 4:35, 5:30 in the morning. I've been going since 4. Well, it probably was like 5:30 something. It was before sunrise. It was dark. And in the dark with my eyes closed, I get a notebook that was next to me, almost like I could just see everything that I was picking up. I picked up a pen, I opened the notebook, and started writing. He started talking, he opened the scroll, and he started talking, and I started writing. I just wrote everything he said. I can't even tell you what he said at first. I just wrote what I was hearing. I just wrote, in the dark, not even looking at the paper, writing with my eyes closed. Never did anything like that in my life. I'm writing. Writing. He's talking. Then he closed up the seal, the scroll. And I say, who are you? And he says, Arcturus. I ain't even asked him, why you pick my door to come knock on? I ain't asked him jack. I was like, okay. Then he left. And later on, now I'm having this commune with him. Later on, I look at what he wrote, what came to me, and I'm like, what is this? Let me type it out so I can see it in some kind of format. It was perfectly written out in my notebooks. I still have the notebooks, and this happened probably about 2009, and this is 2019. This probably happened a decade ago. I typed it all out, put it together. A few days later, he comes back. I'm in meditation, going, buzzing. Meditation. Here he comes again. Now I know him, so I'm like, oh, Arcturus. And he has his scroll again. Right, okay. I start writing. This time I write more pages. Never opened my eyes, never saw what was on the page, only wrote what I was hearing, and you can perfectly read the writing. I know this sounds so bizarre. You probably wouldn't believe me, except I still have all the journals and notebooks. I can show them to you. I'm gonna dig them out of storage. They're stacked in quite a few things that I have put away in special places. I will have to pull that out and show it to you. Next. Okay, a few days later, he comes back again. Now, after he did this a few times, I said, you know what? I'm going to show these to my sisters in ministry, because am I going crazy? Am I talking to someone? And you know how the doubting mind, and I'm from New York, I'm very skeptical of everything. I'm not one of these woo-woo kind of gals that just believes in anything that comes along. I'm more, I'm an air sign. I like logic and reason, and does this make sense? And does this fit together? And no, spirituality is not logical, yet it's not illogical either. I mean, this is what I mean in this sense, because it can seem illogical. It's not breaking the laws of nature, and it's not breaking the laws of the universe. So I just want to know how all this fits together. So I take these, I type them all out, these meetings that I've had with him, and I date them all. And I take them to my sisters in ministry, and I say, could y'all read this and tell me, does this sound like me? Or does this sound like another being? What does this look like to you? I didn't tell them what it was. I just gave them all the things that I had typed out and that I had written out from the dictation I had taken from Arcturus. And they read it. They said, oh no, you're definitely in touch with a being. I was like, okay now. So I decided when he came back, I was gonna start asking questions, because I figured if he picked out this little lady to come visit, I'm gonna get some things answered around here. So I started asking questions. When he came back many times over a period of a span of time that was probably maybe 8, 10, 12 months. He came frequently, and he didn't come with a specific, like every Monday or when I said these prayers or whatever. It wasn't like that. It was a very sort of organic discourse conversation with the universe. You know, sort of like when you're texting or someone and they might not answer right away, yet it's an ongoing conversation you know you're having. That's what happened. And when it was done, it was done. Hence the book, Arcturus, Messages from Beyond. I wrote all the messages and I put them in a book. And if the book is not available right now on Amazon, which it was for many years, it simply means that we are re-releasing the book in an even better form, not changing any of the words, simply doing sort of a revamp of the book to make it more beautiful in its presentation. That's really all. The words are all the same and all still there, along with the dates and all the questions I asked him and all the answers he gave me and everything. It's in writing because I wanted evidence. And you read the book and tell me for yourself, Arcturus, Messages from Beyond, Volume 1. I have a feeling he'll be back. And I would welcome that. That's it. I love you. God bless you. Have a beautiful day. ValerieLove.com. Mwah. Peace. KAISI out.